on the screen. Okay, you see, yeah. So, according to the previous head of acquisitions, his name was Ban Ki-moon. He was concluding the Millennium Development Goals in 2015, and these goals were there to jointly grow the country together. We call them Millennium Development Goals. They started they were 20 years, so they started in 5 in 2015. So by the end of the report, he said the goals which we were able to measure were achieved, and the goals which were mentioned as qualitative, which were in terms of words, that we will improve this, but there were no numbers in it. How much, how, or how we will assess it, were not be able to achieved. So that's why that logic is here. That we discussed productivity in the previous chapters, and now we are going to do is measure it. It's another challenge how to measure productivity. So because if we measure it, then we will be able to assess how fast or how slow we are growing. Then it will matter how or what kind of strategy should we use. Okay. So first of all, we'll define. So what do we mean by economic? What do we mean by performance? So by performance, we mean that a number which is showing the economic conditions of a country, and increasing that number is showing the improvement in conditions. Okay. So it's a representative number. Higher the number means just like GPA of a student. So bigger the number means more performing the student is. Or attendance of a student, bigger the number, more present he was. So just like we need to create a number that will measure performance. Just like for companies, we take for profitability as a number to see how good they are performing. If you want to see the profitability, and there are other indicators like social performance, corporate social responsibility indicator is there. So you can adopt indicators depending upon what you want to measure. Okay, so do we have such number which we have studied? Yes. From the previous topic, we studied Y is equal to A, labor capital, human capital, and natural source. Here, our Y is an output, which is actually the indicator that we are actually talking about. That this Y, if it increasing, then we have more goods and services available. And in microeconomics, we already studied that if there are more goods and services available, means more supply, the prices will stay stable and low, and it means people can generally afford them. So if you focus on increase in supply, the prices will stabilize itself. It will stay low. If you don't focus on it, then other forces will work and it will increase the prices, just like what's happening in Pakistan. That people tend to have more incomes and they are looking to buy things after the COVID period. They are trying to open up and do the normal activities, but the supply side production has not been up to the mark after the COVID. They are still slow to catch up. So what's happening is demand is leading the supply. So demand is happening first, then supply is responding. So we have already studied that when demand increases first, then it creates inflation. Okay. So, but we need to make sure that supply should increase first as a macroeconomics. Okay. So how we can measure it? So we will start with it. So I'm going to show a diagram and where we will discuss about it. Okay. So there are two major ways which we can measure the Y. That can be people oriented. That we need to make sure how people are getting needs and wants. So we can assess needs and wants by two ways. Either if their income is increasing, they are getting more needs and wants. They will buy more needs and wants. Or if their expenditure is increasing, means they are getting more needs and wants. So दोनों में से कोई एक तरीका भी हम measure कर लें तो that will be measuring how much needs and wants people are getting. Clear? So that thing is written here. So hence higher income let us able to buy better goods and services. So if we add all the incomes of all the agents, buyers and sellers and governments and bystanders, all of them, then it will represent standard of living, because they are getting more utility that we studied in microeconomics. If they are buying more things, they are well off. They are getting more utility out of it. So if we have producer and consumer as an agent, then what are their incomes? So what is an income of a consumer? What is the representative thing that we can use to measure income of a consumer? Yes. So what is an income of a customer from job? What's the name? Is that salary, wages? And what's an income of a seller? Revenue is not income. It's gross. It's you should say net revenue or profit. So if we add the wages and profits, that will be total income. Okay. So if we are well off, then definitely we have higher expenditures. Now we are on the other side. I have not written about the wages and profits here. Now second side. So if we are well off, definitely we have higher expenditures on goods and services. So if we add all the expenditures, it will represent performance. Okay. So what's an expenditure of a consumer? What do we call it? Consumer spending or consumer purchases. And what's the spending of a producer? So what's the general word for that? Investment. He is investing on collecting raw materials and then producing it. Okay. So if we add all add the investments and consumer expenditures, we get total expenditure. This way we can calculate why. So I have generally given you a hint how we can add them. So now we will study the circular flow of goods in the economy and counter circular flow of cash in the economy. Okay. So first of all, we have a market of goods and services. It's a primary market. It's a place where the goods which are produced for the first time are sold. Primary goods. Here the goods which are sold specifically to customers are available. It's a market where goods are available for customers. Okay, and it's a market where first hand goods are the primary market. Okay, and then there's a secondary market, or we call it a derived market. It's a market where inputs are sold. So in this market, who is the buyer? First, or a producer. And who is the seller? Consumer. Consumer will sell himself as a labor, or sell his land as a on rent, or present himself as a manager, or save in a bank in the form of investment. So all the inputs are generated from household and are available in this market, so that firm can hire it, and then firm produces goods and they present in the market, primary market, so that buyer can buy it. So firms are seller, and they are seller in the primary market but buyer in the derived market. Households are buyer in the primary market but seller in the derived market. So now I'm going to connect their connections. Okay, so first, farms will produce things, it will move in the market, and same amount of goods will be sold to the household. All the goods produced will be equal to all the goods purchased. The market value will be always be equal, and then unless some goods are wasted. Okay, तो perishable goods होंगे तो कुछ जाया होंगे, लेकिन even if it is wasted, seller will never face a loss. वो market value price बढ़ा के he will adjust the total value. ठीक है? In terms of food. Yes. So that's why I'm saying that suppose firm has produced 100 units of perishable goods and their market value is 1 rupee. Suppose. So it means the total value of the goods produced is 100 rupees and he is presenting in the market to be sold. So suppose that 10 units are wasted because of their perishable goods. So what he will do is he will try to sell the 90 items in a price that he can cover the 100 rupees. So it means the goods sold will always be equal to good purchased. Okay, because the goods which are perishable, he has a margin to sell it quickly and because and at a different price. No, but problem that's different issue there. It's about the elasticity that who will bear the loss. So if the product is perishable but it is necessity for a consumer, then consumer will bear the extra cost. If it is perishable but it is a luxury good, then the loss will be bear by the buyer. But usually, if you experience in the reality, there are very few luxury goods which are perishable. Usually, perishable luxury goods are like decoration piece, cars, or some antiques pictures. They are not perishable. Yeah. So if they are handled with care, so they are not perishable, but they are breakable, but not perishable. Means they will not degrade themselves if they are placed somewhere. So it's highly unlikely that a good is a perishable, but it is also not acceptable by. For example, there are few examples. For example, in Pakistan, avocados are not grown, and but in Al Fateh, avocados are there. They are a perishable good, but for consumers, they are luxury good because they are so expensive. Okay, avocado, पता है ना क्या होता है? Yeah, so it's a fruit that is not produced in Pakistan, but it is imported. And there are other fruits like dragon fruit. वो पड़ा होता है अल-फतेह में. It's in Carrefour and in Green Valley. So there are some types of fruits that are unique and they are not produced here. So what happens is the seller brings only a few units. Okay? So that's why, and in that case, seller will face the loss because if nobody is buying it, so he will face the loss. वो investment जो की है खराब हो जाएगी. So, but how he will recover it, this is a different issue. Okay? So the goods are produced and goods are sold. Okay. Next, we talk about that the goods bought is equal to the spending done by the household. They will be always be equal. जितनी चीजें खरीदनी है और जितने पैसे खर्चे इक्वल ही होंगे ना. Buyer never pays extra or firms will never leave some money. जितनी वैल्यू है उतने ही पैसे मिलेंगे. ठीक है. And then the goods sold is equal to revenue. Firms will never leave any amount or firm will never give extra. जितनी वैल्यू उतनी पैसे आएंगे ना. So in terms of these two lines, so the red line is showing the flow of goods and the blue line is showing equal counter flow of cash. So if we add the value of goods sold or good bought, which will be equal to total spending or total revenue. Clear? Okay. Similarly, what will happen is that household is providing the land for rent or to be sold or the labor services as wages or wages and a capital services because they are saving and that saving is going as an investment or as a manager. Okay, and that is used by the firms as inputs. So this is as also goods and services. So land is a good and other things are services. Okay, and firms are paying wages, rents, and profits that is equal to total income earned by the household. So by this diagram, we came to know that there is uh, equality in these behaviors. What does it mean by equality is that if you pick any one corner, it is equal to the above red line or the blue line, and it's also equal to the opposite side. So हमने economy को if we want to measure, we can pick any side. हम total spending pick कर लें. Total spending is present on two sides. Spending there and wages, rents, and profit. Add these two, we will have total Y. If we want to add incomes, we'll add income and revenue. It will be to Y. Okay. Or in other side, we can count the inputs, but for that we need to convert it into monetary value. So the blue lines are actually the monetary values. हम रेड लाइन को डायरेक्टली मेजर नहीं कर सकते थे बिकॉज वी कैन नॉट इक्वेट मैंगोज एंड ऑरेंजेस. हमें उनको मॉनेटरी वैल्यू में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा. सो द मॉनेटरी वैल्यू इज ऑलरेडी देयर. द ब्लू लाइंस आर द मॉनेटरी वैल्यूज. ठीक हो गया? So definitely. So I will tell you in this diagram, if sellers are earning big and big, the manager is there, na? So that profit is going to the drive market. So in this circle, yeah. So for the case of Russia that you gave, they were socialist economy. So the profits were going to the government. Okay, and then on the other side, there is a capitalism where the resources can be owned by the private sector. So in both cases, since we said that the manager is also providing services, so if the firm is earning profit, revenue minus the cost, that is the manager's earning, will also go as profit. So it's still in the system. So we are not talking about what is the ideal flow of amount of goods and services, or what's an ideal expenditure, what is an ideal price. We are talking about that if economy is not trading abroad, then the flow of goods and services will be equated with the cash spending by the household and the firm. So we can, rather than calling each firm to ask how many goods they sold, it's very difficult कि पाकिस्तान में हम हर कंपनी को फोन करें और बताएं कि जी हमें लिख के बताओ कि कितनी चीजें बेची हैं. वो बताया कि जी मैंने इतने इतने कद्दू बेचे हैं, इतने घिया तोरी बेची हैं, इतने बैंगन बेचे हैं, इतने आलू बेचे हैं. तो and not all of the sellers are registered, so we don't know how many sellers are there. So it's literally impossible to calculate total output in terms of quantity of goods produced. We can estimate, but this model is telling us rather than using the estimate, just count how much cash was spent on it. That can be easily calculated. I will talk about it in the coming slides. So this diagram is telling us there are two ways: either count the spending or either count the income. It will be equal to the goods produced or the services rendered. So rather than asking कि आपने कितने घंटे काम किया और आपने मैनेजर में कितना जोर लगाया, आपने कितनी जमीन किराए पे दी, आपने कितनी सेविंग एज अ लोन पे दी, it's impossible to ask from everyone. There are 23 crore people in Pakistan. ठीक है? So what we can do is count their income.
जो गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज सोल्ड है तो क्वांटिटी की बात करें या कैश की बात करें?
No, it's quantity, and its cash value is actually revenue. I am just telling that usually red lines are the actual things. GDP तो वो होना चाहिए ना, या total output should be the red lines. But the point is, the red line is very difficult to calculate because it's in terms of, not in rupees, in terms of quantity of things produced. Okay? So since we don't know how many sellers are there or how many households are there, it's literally impossible. So उसका solution क्या था? उसकी market value calculate कर लें. अब market value भी calculate करना मुश्किल है because we don't have the output. So in other words, this diagram is telling that actually the revenue is the market value of the goods and services sold. So you don't have to calculate the revenue, just get the data of revenues earned by the businesses. ठीक हो गया. I will talk about it कि इसको कैसे calculate करेंगे later on. But we have now the easier way to calculate GDP. Okay. Anyone have a question here? नहीं? चले. Let's move forward. So in a two-agent simplified economy, total incomes are equal to total expenditure. मैं यहाँ से कैसे पता चल रहा है कि if we add spendings or revenues, revenue and income or spending and expenditures, if you look at horizontally, spending is equal to revenue and income is equal to rent, wages and profit. So it means the spending expenditure are equal to income. इकोनॉमी में जितने खर्चे हो रहे हैं वो किसी न किसी की इनकम बन रहे हैं, ठीक है, और जिसकी इनकम है वो किसी न किसी का खर्चा था, तो दे विल ऑलवेज बी इक्वल. पैसे पेरिशेबल तो नहीं है कि बड़े बड़े सड़ गए और खत्म हो गए, या पैसे ऊपर से हवा से तो नहीं उतर रहे कि जी यू गॉट एन इनकम बट इट वाज नॉट स्पेंडिंग ऑफ एनीवन. किसी न किसी का स्पेंडिंग ही होगी ना. इफ यू आर अ सेलर तो यू गेट द इनकम, तो किसी ने दुकान से चीज खरीदी है तो आपको इनकम मिली. और इफ यू आर अ लेबर, यू स्पेंड योर टाइम एज अ लेबर, देन यू गॉट दी वेजेस. और वेजेस भी आपको उस टाइम मिली होगी जब फर्म ने आपसे कुछ चीज प्रोड्यूस की और वो सेल हुई और किसी हाउस होल्ड ने वो चीज खरीदी. तो इट मीन स्पेंडिंग्स एंड इनकम्स आर ऑलवेज इक्वल. क्लियर? ओके, आगे चलते हैं. So if we have producer and consumer agent, what are their incomes? And if we have consumer and producer as an agent, what are their expenditures? So income method, we had incomes which are wages of labor, interest of the capital, rent on the natural resource, profit for the producer. ये चारों add करें, we get the profit, income, total income, and that is total output. Because income will be then spent to buy things, and the amount of goods that you will buy is the total output. And then the expenditure is consumption by the consumer, investment by the producer, government. If the government is also a consumer, they will be also spending. So add these three things, so you will get total spending. Clear? Then so we have already you might have already studied a course on accounting and finance. Yes? Nahin? Yes, accounting or finance. So in that there is a term called double entry book system, double entry bookkeeping system. So this system tells that when you are making a accounting record, every amount will be written twice, once in the expenditure portion, another in the income portion, assets and liabilities. Okay, so that method helped us to measure the GDP or the income that we discussed earlier. So our expenditures are actually our liabilities, and our incomes are actually our assets. So assets are the resources, and the liabilities are spendings. Okay, assets are the resources that we have or the resources that we will get, and the liabilities are the spending that we have done or that we will do during a particular time period. So total amount of spend on purchasing for a final use equal to total payment to the factors which are produced to them. So for a company, their total revenue will be equal to total spending, assuming that the profits are also an income of a manager. अगर उसको भी cost में लिखेंगे profit को, then the total amount spent on purchasing final goods, ये पहली line है, total amount spent on purchasing goods for final use, that is actually total revenue for a company, and this is actually total expenditure of a household. ऊपर वाली term आ गई total revenue, that will be equal to total payment to the factors which produced the item: labor, wages, capital, interest rate, land, rent, human capital, profit. तो जितने पैसे रेवेन्यू से आए चार हिस्सों में तकसीम हो जाएंगे और दे बोथ विल बी इक्वल इन ऑल केसेस. ठीक है, सिर्फ इक्वालिटी में कंफ्यूजन ये होती है कि what will happen to profit. But if we consider that profits are actually income of the manager and the manager is also factor, so it will be in the cost. ठीक है? जो accountants होते हैं, they don't count profit as a cost, they count it as a net profit extra. But in economics, since we say that managers are also input, so that profit is his, so it is input cost. Okay? Only difference is that the manager's income is variable because he can earn more or less, but the income of a labor is fixed. Wage rate है, contract में जो लिखा है उतने मिलेंगे. So that's why I'm saying this thing, that we have 4 inputs: labor, who's getting wages; land, where you will spend your rent; in capital, for which you taken a loan and you're paying interest rate; and then there is a human capital or a manager. So the profit is his income. Okay, so if you consider manager as an input, then the profit is actually input cost. The only difference is that profit is not fixed, it's variable. Sometimes it will be a loss, sometimes it will be very big. Variable है. After every year, the income of a manager will be different because of it depends upon the performance of a company. But the wages will be fixed, it is based upon contract. Rent is fixed based upon contract. Interest is fixed based upon the agreement with the bank. ठीक हो गया? So it means revenue will always be equal to cost. Why I'm saying it is cost, but because in microeconomics you already studied the term called normal profit. याद है? Normal profit, where we discussed that the profit is actually the opportunity cost of a business, and it should be more than the opportunity cost. So उसलिए normal profit बोल रहे थे. So that's why it's a part of a cost. हमने वहां पे पढ़ा था cost के chapters में. Clear? Okay, let's move forward. So now we have discussed that it's a bookkeeping system, and because of that we are now able to prove that incomes are equal to expenditures. Now we define that the total output is actually GDP. The name that is used commonly is gross domestic product. Okay, the performance indicator is named as GDP. It is defined as GDP is the market value of all goods and services, all final goods and services produced within the physical boundary of the country in a given time period. वो सारी चीजें जो आखिरी दफा बनी है और या उसके बाद दोबारा नहीं बिकेंगी, ठीक है, and they are produced within the boundaries of a country because Pakistan will claim it then, and in a given time period, because GDP is calculated every year, so it should be within a specific time, otherwise it will be counted in next year's GDP. Okay, so what are the components? Market value. So I'm defining these terms quickly. So certainly we if a country is producing apples and oranges, we cannot compare them, so we need to count their value to the buyers. For that we use market value method. हम ये नहीं कह सकते हमारा GDP इतने मैंगोज, इतने राइस, इतनी wheat है. That will be too long statement. We are producing thousands of items. Okay, so what we can do is we can calculate how much it was value to the buyer, and that value is actually how much they are willing to pay and how much they are willing to buy. Amount they are willing to buy and what they are willing to pay for it. So if you multiply price into quantity, it will be market value. Clear? So rather than shopkeeper counting के हमने इतनी चीजें बेची हैं, what he will do is he has the invoices of all the sales he has done. Just add the value. He will say कि इतने का बेचा है मैंने. दुकानदार ये तो नहीं हिसाब लगाने बैठ जाएगा ना कि कितनी चीजें बेची हैं. फास्टेस्ट वे वो जब भी बेच रहा है तो रसीद बन रही है, उसके कंप्यूटर से रसीद जनरेट हो रही है. The bill. That bill includes price and quantity. So just the total bill is the market value of the final goods sold. Clear? मार्केट वैल्यू समझ आ गया कैसे कैलकुलेट हुआ? इट्स वैल्यू टू द कस्टमर and it includes two things: how much he is buying and what he is paying for it. Multiply them, paying for 1 unit, so multiply them, price into quantity, it is market value. So market value is the price of a product times the number of units sold. Then what does price represent? So we have already talked about it's the value. So it's the willingness to pay by the buyer, how much it's important for him, how much it's valuable for him, how much it is contributing to the output of a country. If you are making one F-16, that might be equal to thousands of tons of wheat. So it means the higher the price, it's more contributive. कि वो smaller unit भी ज़्यादा contribute कर रहा होगा. समझ आई बात? So price is also telling us its contribution to the country's GDP. आप जितनी महंगी चीज बनाएंगे और वो सेल अगर होगी, maybe abroad or locally, your GDP will be higher. Clear? So ये तीन वजह होती हैं प्राइस किस चीज को रिप्रेजेंट करती है. ठीक है?
We still mean here the property found by the seller.
What is meant?
I mean the property still involved.
Property. Yes. So in economics, profit is income of one of the input. So it's a type of an input cost. In accounting, profit is extra. So since we are studying economics, we will be assuming that the profit is income of a manager. And since manager is an input in the business, so profit is input cost. Okay. If that manager is taking too much profit, we will change the manager to our manager le lenge. But if you go in detail, profit is not only the income of a manager, it's also the shareholders' equity. So the shareholders are also part of a manager because they are sitting in the board of governors meeting. ठीक है? तो जब भी manager decision लेता है, he takes makes a meeting with board of governors, and the board of governors include the major shareholders. ठीक है? So the profits are actually divided between these two, but the board of governors is also a manager. ठीक है? So economics में हम we don't split or open up who's in the manager. It can be one person or it can be one family if it's a family business, or it can be one in a meeting or committee that board of governors. Okay, आप समझ आ गए? So in economics we can join them to call them a manager. It's an office. How many people are sitting in it? We don't know. It's a topic of financial management or strategic management, not for economics. Clear? So that's why we assume that it's a income of a manager, and if we say manager is an input, it's an input cost. Okay? Then the term is of all. The term of all was used in the definition. It means we will add everything that is produced. Okay? What are the possible exceptions? We do not add items which are not available for sale currently. When they are sold, then it will be added. Yes. Yes. It depends. Some businesses, when they make an inventory, they book it as that it is sold, but it will be delivered when they ask for it. Okay. So in that case, it is sold. But if they are producing and they are keeping as a stock, then when they will be sold, they will be counted. इसको बोलते हैं accruals. In accounting, you will study a term accrual. In accrual, what they do is sometimes they in order to show profit, they show future incomes as today's income. They say that it is sold and this is the income, but currently it is not sold yet. it would be sold in few days or in few months. तो क्या करते हैं, फ्यूचर कैश रिसीवेबल को प्रेजेंट में लिख लेते हैं to show higher income to their shareholders. Sometimes टैक्स बचाने के लिए प्रेजेंट इनकम को भी फ्यूचर में भेज देते हैं, तो कहते हैं सेल हुई नहीं अभी, पड़ी है हमारे, but currently actually it is sold, so it is called accruals.
The blue pen, the blue pen is just beauty and beauty. It was like this.
I don't know. It could be, but actually it's in accounting you will study that the tax on profit is higher than tax on income, so that's why they do the such thing. Okay, to show expenditure. So
तो फिर ऐसे शो कर देगा delivery.
yes, so it's a non-profit business ना, तो जो भी प्रॉफिट आएगा it will be reinvested, तो वो प्रॉफिट ही यूज हो रहा है. क्लियर हो गया? तो item, so I told that accruals, or we also call it audit quality, that they are not auditing their sales and expenditures properly. They are misrepresenting their income. Some businesses do to avoid taxes, or some businesses do show higher incomes. होता क्या है कि कोई दुकान बेचने लगता है तो क्या करता है, उस महीने की सेल ज्यादा लिख लेता है ताकि जो खरीदने वाला है he will pay more because the sales are higher. वो दुकान लेता है तो पता चलता है वो तो सेल्स हो ही नहीं रही है, वो तो फेक नंबर से, cooked up numbers से. He has written 4 months of sale in 1 month. ठीक है, so this is happens if there is no proper auditing system. Then illegal and banned items do not count in GDP. If the company knows that someone is producing illegal items, he will be punished. So otherwise, there is no way they are not added in GDP. They are against the country law. Then final goods, एक होता है intermediate goods and final goods. So there is one complexity that final goods are goods which are purchased by a consumer. ठीक है, वो बंदा जो उसको लास्ट टाइम यूज करेगा. लाइक इफ यू आर बाइंग फूड, so if you are buying it for yourself, it's a final good. If you are a shopkeeper and buying it to be sold later on, it's not a final good. ठीक है, so there is some complexity for some products. For example, final good product is a product which is purchased for the final use. Another product which are used in other products is called intermediate good. कि वो दुकानदार ले रहा आगे बेचने के लिए, तो वो intermediate good है. ठीक है, so we do not add intermediate goods because there will be double counting. वो एक बार ऐड हुआ तो जब फिर सोल्ड होगा फिर काउंट हो रहा होगा. हम intermediate goods काउंट नहीं करते. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम is sometimes it is very difficult to consider a product as an intermediate or a final good. For example, car tire. ठीक है, we are also buying tires for a car, and Toyota company is also buying tires. So how we differentiate them? We are consumers and Toyota is customer. Customer is a person who is not buying it for buying the item for himself. He is buying for other purposes. And consumer is a person who is buying for himself. तो अगर टोयोटा कार टायर बाय करेगा तो इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स में गिना जाएगा और वो जीडीपी में काउंट नहीं होगा. फिर वो टायर काउंट कब होगा? जब कार सोल्ड हो जाएगी, क्योंकि कार की वैल्यू में टायर की वैल्यू इंक्लूडेड है. लेकिन जब हम टायर खरीदेंगे, सिंस वी आर कंज्यूमर्स, सो इट विल बी काउंटेड इन जीडीपी. क्लियर हो गया? दैट्स व्हाई यू नोटिस कि जो होलसेल मार्केट है, जस्ट लाइक मेट्रो, ठीक है, दे डोंट कोट द टैक्सेस इन देयर प्राइसेस. जो उनकी जो प्राइस टैग लगा होता है उसमें टैक्स नहीं होता, टैक्स बाद में ऐड होता है जब व्हेन यू बाय इट. So what happens is, if you will go to the market and buy the item, your invoice will include the price that was quoted and the tax. But if the seller is buying it, some shopkeeper, it will be adjusted in their tax. No. So if the shopkeeper is buying it, he will still pay the tax, but he will get the tax when he is selling the item. ठीक है, यानी वो अगर कोका कोला बाय कर रहा है and he is paying the tax for the when he is buying from the metro, when he is selling the same tax वो buyer से भी तो ले चुका होगा ना, उस प्राइस में होगा ना. So technically the shopkeeper is not paying their tax, but when you are buying for yourself you are paying their tax. So consumer से tax charge होता है, and the person who is paying the tax is the consumer, and that product will be called final good, जो फाइनल टैक्स देगा. ठीक है, दुकानदार तो ट्रांसफर कर देगा ना आगे. ठीक है, no, which are not further used by further sold or used by somebody else. जैसे वो कुकिंग ऑयल की एग्जांपल दे रहा है, जो शॉपकीपर हैं, रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं, they buy cooking oil and we also buy cooking oil. For them it's an intermediate good, a raw material. For us it's a final good. Yes, all the things that the both buyer and seller can buy. So there will be we should distinguish them. Then goods and services. The first time, but we will not count the things which are sold second hand like cars, house. वो नहीं काउंट होगा. एक बार जब पहली दफा बना जीडीपी में आ गया, दोबारा नहीं आएगा. तो अगले साल क्या आएगा? कुछ में नहीं. वो अगली बार कोई भी सेल करेगा तो सेकंड हैंड गुड है, इट विल बी नॉट काउंटेड इन जीडीपी. अगले ईयर भी होगा, अगले साल नई कार आएगी तो जीडीपी में होगी. नहीं, पुरानी कार बेचते तो उस पर टैक्स कौन पे करता? कोई भी नहीं करता. तो इट्स नॉट काउंटेड इन जीडीपी. हाँ, इफ यू टेकिंग एन ओल्ड कार एंड रीएनोवेट, उसको वो अपग्रेड करके बेच रहे हैं, देन दैट विल बी काउंटेड बिकॉज इट विल बी अ डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट नाउ. ठीक है, तो GDP should add only goods which are produced for the first time. What is the problem? We add the second hand products, it's a double counting. GDP में double counting होगी, और उसमें कोई value addition भी नहीं है, बल्कि वो depreciate हुई हुई है. If you are selling the second hand car, there is no value addition in it until unless you will be using it for other than driving purpose. उससे कोई decoration piece बनाने लगे हैं, कोई उसको upgrade करके as an exotic car बना के बेचने लगे हैं, then it's a different case. It will be a different product then. Okay, within a country, we focus on the things which are produced within a boundary of a country because it's relevant to us. We can claim its ownership. We add the goods which are produced in the area which represents us, even though we use it or not. अगर हम export भी कर दें, still it's ours. So all exports are included, but imports are not. जो import हम items कर रहे हैं हमारे मुल्क में नहीं बनती, तो वो GDP से minus होती है, क्योंकि because it's not a part of things that we can claim that it is our output. But exports are included because it's our output. In a given period of time, we say goods and services, then it should be considered for a specific time period, because GDP is measured for a year. Since accounting standard will include performance annually, hence we add only those goods which are produced in that financial year. That the remaining will be added next year. Okay? Sometimes goods are sold gradually on installments. Then it will be added on both sides. Partially, दोनों तरफ आ रहा हो. Just if you are buying a house and you take an installment for 20 years, then it will be added in 20 GDP. The portion.
Nations having that, does it mean that they are producing?
Please repeat your question.
Like,
Yes. Yes. Most probably this is the reason that their goods have more market value. Most probably because the population of Pakistan is 5th in the top of the world. So if you consider more labor will lead to more output, then our GDP should be top 5. Pakistan area is, I think, 14th in terms of area in the world. So if you consider area is an important to produce more, then our GDP should be on 14th number. So in terms of quantity of goods, we are not competing. It means that the world, the leading countries are not leading because they are producing more quantity. It might be a reason also, but the major reason is they are producing at a more higher market value. Yes, so they are selling small, fewer items but good quality and selling it expensive. Comes or lag raha. And they might be producing more because they are also productive. So it's very difficult to distinguish कौन सा reason होगा उसके ऊपर जाने. ठीक है. For example, Belgium is a very small country. Its GDP is bigger than Pakistan. ठीक है. So does it mean that they are producing more? Most probably they are not producing more than us because they don't have enough area or labor to compete Pakistan's capacity. But the things that they are producing are being sold at a higher value than us. So net value they are earning more.